So what we are suggesting, as you begin to make the conscious transfer, where the dominant part of you in your human body, in your physical perspective, as you are deciphering this time-space reality, if you will make it your dominant intention to be forward feeling rather than current looking, you will find that you will bridge that gap between what you've asked for and what's manifested in record time. There is so much leverage in alignment. And there is little leverage in banging around in physical things and trying to make things happen through your physical behavior. When Esther awakened this morning, she was delighted that she had a whole extra hour. Ooh, the luxury of that. And she said to us, could you arrange one of those every day? How far off the calendar would we get if every day we just took an extra hour and never gave them back? Let's just every day take an extra hour. And we said to Esther, as she playfully laid there and contemplated the sweetness of an extra free hour to have her way with, we said, when you get into the vortex, you get a leverage of time that is far more than that extra hour that you are benefiting now. When you get into the vortex, where you are a cooperative component to all of the other cooperative components, when your impulse to place that telephone call comes when the person is sitting there in the mindset to receive it in the way you want them to receive it, that's leverage. When your impulse to pull in your cords and get onto the highway in your big monster bus, when the impulse comes and you follow it and you enter the traffic as it flows rather than as it stalls, you have leverage of time. When you don't hesitate in the moment that would be the right moment and instead you move forward, when you have the gift of alignment, there is a time leverage that cannot be defined in your physical senses, because time is perceptual. And when you are in alignment and therefore vibrating in harmony as a cooperative component to others that the universe has already lined up for you. You see, when you ask for something, in that pure asking, even though you may not be pure in your thinking, your asking is, your inner being stands there, and law of attraction has already brought all cooperative components to the complete fruition of what you've asked for. Your solution is present tense complete in the vibrational reality that we are speaking of. We are not kidding you at all. And when you practice the vibration of alignment, when you care about how you feel, when being in this vortex matters to you more than all other things put together, now you have good timing. Now your perception is altered. Jerry said yesterday as they were walking back to their suite, after the first hour that we were together with those who joined us here yesterday, I was in a time warp, he said, because the material that was given and the notes that I took and the stars that I made and the interest that I felt and the intentions that erupted within me to go back and listen to it and the amount of information that was received felt like 10 hours of information given in that hour. That's leverage. That's leverage. When you're in the vortex, you hear what we say. When you're not in the vortex, there's not enough time to get you to hear it. Not enough words in the world, not enough examples in the world. The vortex is your key to way more than an extra hour every day. So in the moment that your life has carved out enough experience for you to identify a problem. Now think about this. You've been living a lot of life. Law of attraction's been bringing to you a lot of data and information. And when the problem occurs to you at the point that you recognize that you have a problem, we want you to understand it's been moving along, it's been evolving and expanding long before it came into your conscious awareness. And that the same, oh, this is so good, we have not said this to you before. If you were sitting at your desk, we would say, write this down. when the problem presents itself to you in a conscious way, by then it has been moving along, it has been expanding and growing for some time. Are you hearing this? And during every bit of the expansion of what you are now much later concluding is the problem, there has been an equal and proportionate solution that is brewing as well in what we are calling the vortex of creation. So when you know what you don't want, the larger part of you knows what you do want. And by the time you are able to pronounce your question or pronounce your problem, we promise you the solution or the answer has already been actualized and is waiting for you vibrationally just to flip that little button and get tuned into the frequency where the answer can be heard by you. You understand how it works? We so want you to get it that when you know what you don't want, the answer to what you do want is already amassed in this vortex of creation. This vortex of creation where law of attraction assembles all cooperative components. The question that this workshop wants to help you uncover for yourself is, are you a cooperative component or not? Are you allowing yourself to be assembled with all of the cooperative components so that you get to have the manifestation? Can you feel your way into cooperation, or do you have to see your way into cooperation? That's really the big question that we want to uncover and highlight and amplify until you really get it here today. We want you to feel the power of your questions and the power of your situations and issues and problems. But more than that, we want you to take the bounce that awareness of that problem gives you, the bounce. We want you to try to feel your way forward into this vortex of creation where the solution already exists. Did we convince you that there is a vortex of creation? And do you accept that you are vibrational beings? Because that is the basis of the understanding of this gathering. You have to accept that you are vibration first and foremost. You are so good at your physical translation, and this reality that you call real life reality is so vivid with all that you can see and hear and smell and taste and feel about it. In other words, it's vivid, and we know it's intoxicating. We know it's addictive. We know it's compelling. We know that it's enticing. We know that in most cases it has your full attention. But we want to make a very strong point at the beginning here today that if you're tuned to see so vividly only what you can translate through your physical senses, and if you are unwilling to try to understand what's going on over here in this vortex of creation, we get why reality is more interesting to you than vibrational reality. Because reality has manifested, meaning you can see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it. But we want you to understand that you have the ability to see what's going on over here in this vibrational reality. It's just a different lens that you will use to see it at first, and it's the lens of your emotions. You're going to feel your way forward into, here's the most important thing you'll hear us say all day, into this present tense vibrational reality. That's the thing we so want you to hear. This is the present tense. Now, many of you say, Abraham, come on, give me a break. How can you be calling present tense something that hasn't manifested yet? I want to call that, from where I stand over here in my physical body, future, my future experience. And we say, but the problem with that is all of your power is now. All of your point of attraction is now. All of your vibrating is now. All of your beating the drum that activates the thought that equals your point of attraction, all of that is happening right here and now. So if you are offering a vibration about what you're observing, you're holding yourself apart from the expanded you that has already taken form in this vortex of creation. We know it's a little mind twisting that happens as we try to convey to you the wholeness of who you are. We know that it's not easy to wrap your thoughts around things that you can't see, but we also know you are vibrational beings and have been from the moment you set forth into this physical body. There has been a vibrational relationship going on between you and you, between the non-physical you who remains in non-physical, even though the physical you is here. There has been a vibrational relationship going on between you and you as long as you have been here in this physical body. And that relationship between you and you is evidenced to you by the emotions that you feel. What we want you to hear us say, the meaning that we want you to collect from this conversation is that the emotions that you feel are your vibrational indicators of the blending or the resisting between you and you. And as you allow yourself to feel your way into alignment with who you are, as you tune that frequency, we promise you it will broadcast in a way that you can hear it. It will broadcast in a way that you can see it. It must manifest. It will come into full view for you in powerful ways if you will allow yourself to be a vibrational match to what is present tense from our point of view. Now, in order for you to get very good at that, you could stand in the middle of a problem and say, oh, wait. I remember Abraham said, if I'm standing in the middle of a problem, the solution is already there. So good to know. It's already there. Instead of saying, where is it? I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I've been here so long. I'm unhappy about being here. I'm afraid. I'm disappointed. I don't deserve this. What has gone wrong in my life experience? This problem should not be mine. I don't want it, but I've got it. Will you help me? I'm afraid. And we say, as you beat the drum of where you are in your problem, you hold yourself vibrationally out of earshot, out of feel shot, out of the feeling place of what's going on, the solution that's already present tense over here in this vortex of creation. So all day today, you're going to hear us. You're going to talk about a lot of things, and we're going to give you one eventually very boring answer. Go to the vortex, 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 until eventually we'll break you down and someone will scream from the back row, how do we get in the vortex? And we want you to understand that the vortex is a vibrational state of being that you feel your way to. And the way you go to the vortex is by reaching for the feeling of what the vortex feels like. So we're just going to tell you what the vortex feels like. The vortex feels like this place of well-being, where a feeling of well-being, a feeling of stamina, a feeling of vitality. It's that fresh feeling. Jerry and Esther watched a little girl in a campground in Boston the other day. She was running alongside her big sister who was on a bicycle, and this little girl, 3-4 years old maybe, her ponytail bouncing and her little shoes lighting up with every step she took. She was so in love with life on this beautiful fall day, bouncing through this campground, so vividly glad to be alive. And as Jerry and Esther watched her, the street went round this group of vehicles that was parked. Did you see Jerry and Esther's monster bus in the parking lot? It was parked there in a big space area. And as this little girl ran around and around and around and around, Esther ran from window to 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 window. Esther couldn't take her eyes off this little girl who was in the vortex. Everything about her was vivid and alive. Esther wanted to just put everything she was doing on hold and just get on her own bicycle and spend the day with these kids. It was so obvious that there was not a problem anywhere near activation in her little vibration in that moment. She was so tuned in to the whole of who she is. And Jerry and Esther said, she's in the vortex. She's so in the vortex. And we want to say to you, why was she in the vortex? Get ready for it. It's profound, because she wasn't out of the vortex. Now that was better than you know, because what we're saying to you is, you'll be in the vortex unless you do that thing that doesn't let you in. In other words, you can be in the vortex and find some negative thought, and the vortex will spit you right out, because vibrations have to match up. Law of attraction will not allow you to be in a vibration of well-being and in a vibration of worry at the same time. So you've got to lean in the direction of the vortex. You've got to get in there every now and again, even by accident. In other words, by accident we mean not deliberately focusing yourself there, by observation. You're really good at that in your physical form. Do you know that most of the vibration that you offer is because of what you are observing? So here's Esther and Jerry in their monster body.